And welcome to another edition of the Supersubs podcast. My name is Colburn Schroeder, joined with Chris Wenzel and Brian Bechtel. Gentlemen, welcome to another episode of our weekly series where we talk about all things football. And frankly, I think we have a bit of a different take we often bring to our episodes, free-flowing style, as you would. So we're not parking the bus on the show. We also appreciate the finer things in life and the champagne football that we watch weekly. We have a lot to discuss this week, so we'll get right into it. But first, gentlemen, how are you doing?
Doing great. I think in terms of backgrounds, it might be Chris 1 and Brian 0 after today's game, which we'll get into. Really the only game of any importance in the last week. So it's going to be a lot of PSG and Real Madrid talk today.
Yeah, Chris, we're looking at there's a distinct theme that you've got going on in your box over there.
Yeah, today we were at
the Parc des Princes. So it's the World Cup song right now. And it shouldn't be the Parc des Princes. It should be the Park of Kylian.
It really is.
It was the Park of Kylian today. So it was an exciting day to be a fan of Paris Saint-Germain. But it's only the first leg and I've been burned several times before, so I won't get ahead of myself.
We can get right into it. We're basically going to talk PSG and Madrid all show today, for the most part. So why don't we get into it? So obviously there's a lot to discuss here. I guess I want to give it to you, Chris, as the PSG guy. Do you want to kick us off and run through your opening thoughts on the overall score line and things like that?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So a little bit of usual context. So with Paris Saint-Germain, they've been lackluster the whole season, and they typically do that. But typically, usually the way a team gets or is called as the best out to win the Champions League is that you have to be serious in your league and play week in and week out and build momentum until the Champions League to build on your strategies, your tactics, and all those things. Example as Bayern Munich that dominates the Bundesliga, Real Madrid that has been playing well until the end of last year, and Manchester City rolling over the Premier League. But Paris Saint-Germain, unfortunately, they don't care about Liga. Watching all the games is very tiring. And in French, and all the French pundits were like, were they gonna be able to find the switch? Meaning, were they gonna be able to bring the high intensity game? Were they gonna be able to be serious and defend and have everyone being on the level of a Champions League team, because they haven't been since last season in the semi-final in May. They haven't been playing even against the arch nemesis Marseille. They didn't really bring on the heat. So today they did. So it was only 1-0, could have been a little bit more. So it was very exciting to see them play a match from the first minute to the very last, from that man, Kylian Mbappé. Very weird situation for him. That's been rumored to want to transfer to on free from Paris Saint-Germain to Real Madrid at the end of the season. So that must not be easy. But that man, his nerves are made of iron, so he doesn't know what the word pressure is. So that's exciting. I'd love to hear your take on especially the first half, where basically like Real Madrid, it seemed to me that they were just came to Paris for visiting the Eiffel Tower, the Arc de Triomphe, get the good food, but they have absolutely no interest in managing the game. So I'd love to hear you, Brian, on what you thought about the first half and the game. So, because I thought that was my first take for at least the first half.
Yeah, I thought that it was really nice to see PSG kind of play a complete game. It really should have been a lot more than 1-0. My boy Messi, unfortunately, with a tough penalty miss in the second half. And I mean, it could have been, tough. It could have been 3-4-0, I think, best case, but not really that far away from reality in terms of the way they played. Real Madrid had no shots on target. I'm not really sure what their game plan was exactly. They didn't look nearly as comfortable on the ball as PSG did. And PSG was really good. I think that they created a lot of chances, which sometimes can get kind of tough to do when you've got all of the ball. I think we've seen PSG play these kind of games before where they've got all of the ball and they can't quite really create anything, and it becomes a pretty stale match. But they were able to break down Madrid quite a few times. A bit unlucky not to get more. I think Marco Verratti was excellent.
He was so good.
Yeah, Colburn, if you want to get into that, we can let you have your moment with Balotelli.
I just want to say,
watching on in the background.
I thought, we talk a lot about him on this show and even off camera, so to speak. He has a bit of a Jekyll and Hyde performance track record for PSG when he's not hurt and when he's in the mood, as they say. And I'm in the mood because he's in the mood. He was sick. I thought and also he played the full 90 minutes, which he rarely does. I thought he was excellent pulling the strings. He had high energy. He actually played defense. I watched him orchestrate attack after attack. He was excellent in a way that I normally don't see him play like that for PSG against sort of the opponents and calibers that they go after. He was the one that I was sort of magnetized to for obvious reasons, but I thought his performance in the midfield was magnificent.
Yeah, I think everything really went through him and Messi. The big question for Verratti, though, is can he stay in the mood for 40 days, which we'll find out for the World Cup qualifiers.
I know we need to bottle this and release it on March 24th against North Macedonia.
But I thought it really was Verratti. I thought the fullbacks were really good.
He was excellent.
And Hakimi. And then if it wasn't for Messi's penalty, I actually thought it was one of the better PSG games I've seen for him. I was watching the CBS postgame show, and Jamie Carragher was super critical of him, and I could be a little too biased to see through when he's not playing his best, but he was dispossessed a few times and wasn't, definitely no vintage Messi performance by any means, but I still thought a lot of the play went through him. He still has that cutting edge, and I still thought he created a lot and was a big part of the game. Chris, do you see it the same way, or do you think is Messi kind of lost a step a bit?
No. That was probably the best performances of Messi. So, there had been game where he had a couple of assists and didn't play well. In this one, he missed a penalty. And after the game, Courtois went like, I studied all the penalty takers at Paris Saint-Germain. I saw that against Nice, he went on that side and he really liked that side. He missed on the other side. So I was always going to go on that side anyways, because I know that's the side where he was most confident about. So he did study pretty well, Lionel Messi. The thing is, like, in France, they're saying like should it have been Mbappe, and Mbappe missed also at the Euros.
It should be Messi
in Champions League. So honestly, in a perfect world, should be Neymar. Neymar is the best penalty taker in the world.
That's true, actually.
Honestly, the way he does it is very. But he just came back from injury, so and he went playing for like 20 minutes, and honestly, I have to say he changed a lot of the game. I think Neymar probably now is starting to be in the side of his career where he would probably make a better impact by getting off the bench, playing 30 minutes and playing the full 90. But that's a different story. So back to Messi, I thought he had a really good performances. He's starting to see a little bit of acceleration where he could maintain a little bit his speed and not like getting caught back by defenders easily. He was able to pull some shots on goal, even though they were not perfect and all that stuff. I think the extra 3 weeks that where the second leg will be held, it probably will be perfect height of the season for him. So a lot of the game went through Messi. The passing was really, really good. And yeah, to your point also, Verratti, full 90 and the classic yellow card.
Yeah.
And so 29 or 30 years old player had the interview in the French newspaper L'Équipe saying, well, I realized I held the ball too much and I turned around myself, turnstile. Finally realizing that getting on the on 30 years old, but at least he realized at the right time. But as we mentioned, the question is, for most players, 3 weeks is great because it will be great for Benzema, who we'll talk about him, to just got back from injury, played the 90 minutes and probably didn't have 90 minutes in his legs. For Verratti, actually, the longer you have between games, the more question mark is, because he's made of glass and he could get injured, and we're getting in the area that for Colburn is having to be stressful.
Chris, don't say it. Don't say it. March 24th, we need him.
So yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty confident, but as I mentioned in the intro, you cannot say like, oh, they played really well, they dominated Real Madrid, and also the advantage of playing against a crowd with their crowd. That was the first time since 2019 that they played with their crowd. And at Bernabeu, they'll have all the fans, especially for the Champions League. So it's only a 1-0. The one thing is it might end up being overtime or penalty, which actually we haven't had many penalties because of the away rules.
I would just also go back to Carragher. I mean, first of all, we're Team Messi here, guys. We're
Absolutely.
Team Messi. We're Team Messi all the way. So I also would disagree. I thought Messi played very well for what he normally has done at PSG. And I thought Courtois was good to save that. Do you think, Brian, that Messi should continue to take penalty kicks for PSG?
Yeah, no, I don't. Back to the Jamie Carragher thing, he literally said that he should have been subbed off. And if his name wasn't Lionel Messi, that he would have been subbed off. I thought it was a totally crazy take.
Yeah, we're gonna sub off Jamie Carragher.
Yeah, typical English take, dude. These guys are clueless over there. But to the penalty thing, yeah, no, I mean, Messi is kind of just an average penalty kick taker. Always has been, even at Barcelona. So I think between if Mbappe or Neymar's on the pitch, then it should be one of them for sure. It's not Messi's team. And you know, maybe they talked about it on the field and Kylian was okay to give it over to Leo, but Kylian needs to take that ball next time and put it in the back of the net. I think this is a good segue to talk really about Mbappe. I think we've been praising Verratti and Messi for kind of running the engine of the offense in possession, but Mbappe, whenever he got the ball, was ready to drive at all of the defenders. He took a few guys on one-on-one, just roasting past them, and not necessarily a coming out party for him. We've seen Mbappe do these kind of performances before, but really come into his own, and maybe he's the new best player in the world, and Messi's time at the top could be coming to an end.
Ooh, wow. That is a steaming hot take. But Chris, what do you think?
I mean, thank you, because it will make me sound a little bit less biased coming from this comment. So thank you, Brian.
There's nothing about your situation over there that would appear biased in any way.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. No, but I think it's for me to call him the best player in the world at the moment. It's coming from several factors. Number one, Messi not having the legs of being able to dribble from his first half until the final third and score goals, almost the exact same goal as Diego Armando Maradona. He cannot do that anymore. Cristiano Ronaldo is a great poacher, but he doesn't play with a team that's unable him to show up on the international scene. Salah's gone a little bit down, just like Liverpool, and just coming back from AFCON. Mane, maybe, but he had a little bit of a lackluster first half of the season so far, but maybe the AFCON will help him. Vinicius, great. I was on another platform where I was asked who's the best player in the world, and I said Mbappe, and someone said, "Oh, Vinicius." And I said, "Wait a moment, hold on. Vinicius is only good because he plays next to like a world-class player that both plays the number 9 position and number 10, named Karim the Dream."
Ding, ding.
For the audience, for the newcomers to this amazing podcast, so Karim is a friend of the show, obviously, and I'm talking about
good
Karim,
friend of the show.
Really close friend of Chris.
We're talking about Karim Benzema, and just he's coming from a hamstring that has taken a little bit longer to recover from. And he was very questionable for this game. He probably didn't have the 90 minutes in his legs, and he ended up playing it because Jovic is not necessarily like a professional player and really like the Madrid's night scene. Hazard, not really a football player anymore. And Vinicius, when Benzema is not delivering, making the space, bringing Marquinhos and Kimpembe. Marquinhos, that's the only Paris Saint-Germain player that plays all the games, all the season, and he never goes below a certain level. And he was stratospheric today. And Kimpembe brought his level up because he's been at below average, and I thought it was amazing. Honestly, I was trying to think. I saw Militao getting this yellow card, and I saw him doing some stuff, and Carvajal saving probably a big chance for Mbappe. But I didn't see Alaba the whole game. Was he on the? I have to check right now. Was he on the lineup? I'm not even joking.
Yeah, he played. Yeah, he did because he had a yellow card on Neymar's run late in the game. Yeah, he played.
I'm not being facetious. I didn't see him. Ferland Mendy. Probably not fit, but yeah, they don't have the depth, the midfield. I think it's all about momentum in all sports. It's all about momentum, and that's funny when you hear all the pundits saying like, "Yeah, Real Madrid by far will win. PSG has no chance."
Which commentators are saying that, Chris?
No. You'll have to know. You'll have to decide which show we're talking about and which guy we're talking about. But like honestly, it's not like it's the first year that Paris Saint-Germain does those kind of things. And I'm not saying Paris Saint-Germain will go through. And technically, they might be right then when they say they have no chance, because maybe the second line, Real Madrid win 3-0. I hope not, but that's possible knowing Paris Saint-Germain, they are not consistent.
Oh, very possible.
It's no, not very possible. Maybe might happen.
I will say I've watched a lot of the PSG second legs, and for whatever reason it's like Jekyll and Hyde. But I will say I think for a variety of reasons they do feel a little bit different this year, not just because they have Messi and some other pieces which they didn't have before, but it feels like it's Mbappe's time. That performance today was one of the best I've seen him, and I watch him every time thinking I don't see this in any game that I watch in football. The way he moves, his sense of timing and runs, he is the ultimate game changer. And the goal was the epitome of that. It was brilliant. I mean, there were like tears streaming down my eyes. You guys actually watched me see it. I mean, it's crazy. That goal was sick. And he deserves all the credit that he's been getting because he is unlike any athlete on the football pitch today. So he's the best player in the world to me right now.
He's the closest thing to a FIFA player or playing FIFA you go on the side and you try to dribble with an elastico or step over, which is his move. And you know what he's gonna do. He still does it. I think I've spoken a lot about this, but I think the last areas of improvement from him. So this year he's improved a lot with strikes outside of the box and really getting a strike. So that was funny for a forward. He didn't really have like a strong strike. That was funny, but he didn't. He was just scoring like those goals and the ball, like he couldn't do like curlers. He could just do like almost like a knuckleball straight. And he couldn't do like the classic forward moves. That's a curler, like that.
You're right. Actually, only this year have I really noticed him
Yes.
taking sort of curling finesse shots.
Yeah, because before he wasn't taking any set pieces or anything because he didn't really know how to strike the ball. I know that sounds crazy because he was
No, and you know what? It actually takes. Now that you pointed out, I hadn't seen this before, but it complements his game perfectly because he always gets on the corner of the box from the wing, cutting inside, and so the curler is right there for him all the time. He loves that shot now. I watch him take it all the time from the center of the box.
Yeah, so the last areas of improvement is clinical finish, a la Lewandowski.
Oh, that finish today was so good. Between underneath the legs, brilliant.
Yeah,
subtle. It was a chef's kiss.
I know, and you, to do that in the last 2 minutes of the game, and to still believe that is going to happen because Courtois, the best player on the pitch besides Mbappe. Courtois had had an amazing game. It was almost annoying. Like he saved, I think, I don't know, he saved the Messi. Messi almost scored, and Courtois did a Gordon Banks when Pelé said, "I scored a goal, but Banks stopped it." And that was basically the same thing because like you have this tall dude and he goes on the floor and he goes so fast. That could have been a goal for Messi. I think a lot of people will say like, yeah, in first half when he goes and the ball stops a little bit and he doesn't strike the ball, but and the Carvalho push him slightly in the back and that's enough to lose the balance and it's not on his right foot and it was very difficult. So I wouldn't put on him, but so against Bayern Munich in final of 2020 Champions League, he had a face-to-face against Neuer. Granted, Neuer is the best goalkeeper in the world. And like the ball, like again, at the time, he didn't know how to curl the ball. He didn't know how to do like a chip. Like, I don't think I've ever seen him do a chip. I've seen him do a lob. I have never seen him do a chip, which is Ben Yedder's signature move.
It's also the FIFA signature move.
Yes. And he did like those kind of like flat strikes. And now like he's complementing his game. The only thing is clinical finish. Like you score two big chances out of 3, I think is where the only thing that remains to get to like being a top and a consistent player. I mean, like it's like and he's consistent. He delivers, like and all the teams they double team him. He still goes. He still scores. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, his ability to now finish. I mean, even it's a subtle thing, but it's the reason that he was able to open Courtois up and go through his legs because he's opening his hips up like he's going to go far post, and then he just slides it right down the middle.
What a huge G.
Super sick. Back to Madrid. There's a few times where, I mean, they were making sliding tackles in their own third or their own half to break up plays where it could have been a lot worse. I think there was some talk about the away goals and if getting rid of the away goals is why Madrid potentially played the way that they played. I'm not so sure that they would have ever wanted to play frankly, I thought they were pretty poor. I mean, going home, and we've seen the way that PSG have crumbled in some of these away second legs. But I fully expect if today's game was anything like what the next leg will be, then PSG should absolutely go through. That they were far better than Real Madrid today. Back to the CBS post game, Jamie Carragher super critical of UEFA getting rid of the away goal rule. Says this is a terrible mistake, that we're going to see a lot more penalty shootouts, and that what's lost is the ability for one goal to take a tie from either being one team being down and now they're winning the tie. That'll go away potentially with this away goal. Is, obviously all you could do is go from tied to one team leading or vice versa. So the drama of the away goal is gone. Colburn, what do you think about that?
So Brian, why don't you first explain to to our listeners out there what the away goal rule was and where we are today?
Yeah, basically, so they've had the away goals. I'm not sure if in all of the history of the Champions League, or Chris probably knows that. But basically, so they play two legs, home and away. And at the end, if it's tied, the team with more away goals would win. That would be the tiebreaker. And now that's gone. And so if they're tied, it'll just go to extra time in that second leg and potentially penalty kicks. So, a lot of these ties end up tied after the two legs. And so without the away goal tiebreaker, we will see more extra time. We will see more penalty kicks for sure. So I thought it was an interesting take from Jamie, but Colburn, where do you stand on this?
Let me take a big fat toke of my American cigar here. My American hat is on, and I would say thank God that we've eliminated this stupid away goal rule. I have railed on this rule for years. It has been the bane of my existence. I think the fact that a team can win a tie simply by in a 1-1 tie simply by an away goal versus actually beating the other team already draws are a little contentious in the American mindset. But to have it be decided by away goals feels like not only a cop-out to me, but also an injustice in certain cases. Over the course of time, it has bitten me personally again and again with Italian teams incapable of scoring and getting burned on the away goal rule. So I'd rather see extra time. I'd rather see penalties. I'd rather give the people what they want. And that is sort of my American take. And while, Brian, I know you have some thoughts, I will continue to take puffs of my fat American cigar with my cowboy hat.
Yeah, until I had heard, I was pretty against the away goal generally as well. I thought Jamie's take was kind of interesting, though, just in terms of the drama of the away goal is a real thing. A tie being, one team.
I don't know. I'm not interested in drama. James, this is a classic. Okay. This is a classic English footballing take. The drama. I don't care about that. What's the better team? It's the drama creates itself.
Yeah, I agree. Jamie and the English have no idea what they're talking about.
Jamie's 0 for 2 in my mind today.
No, but yeah, I guess the only problem is that I hate games being ended and decided by penalty kicks. I think it totally sucks, and we might have a lot more of that. And so if away goals is the only way, a decent way to decide that, then I'm okay with it. We'll see.
Well, do you hate it more? Do you hate it more than penalty kicks?
No.
Wow.
No, I hate penalty kicks way more than away goals. I think penalty kicks is terrible.
Chris, maybe you can break this stalemate. Maybe you can be our away goal.
That's a good one. So here, bringing the European perspective and specifically the French one. So you have to think French clubs, not French national team winning World Cups and everything. And you have to think before Paris Saint-Germain 2010. So if you make it to the round of 16, I mean, there was Lyon that was dominating and that did like quarterfinals and semifinals, and they got ripped off. They should have gone to the final and blah, 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 blah. But most of the time, French clubs were more Davids than Goliath. So scoring a goal away was a tremendous achievement. So the away rule was benefited a lot to French clubs. And because of that, I am biased to this benefits more French clubs than the big clubs. However, I came from a position where I was in favor of away goals, and it's been a tradition. And also, when you look at why it was implemented because there were too many ties, and it sucked to go through penalty shootout. And so and at the time it was, where you didn't have the video, or those clubs didn't play as there were videos, but they were not like all the games were recorded, and it was much more where you get tapes. You couldn't go on YouTube and watch the game and do analysis for free. So you didn't know how the teams played. You didn't know how the audience and the fan base would be a factor in the stadium. And so back in the day, playing at home was a bigger factor than it actually is right now. So, and also that has led to the Jose Mourinho of the world being like, okay, I'm just gonna park, build some cement, put some trenches, park 5 buses in front of the line on the first leg away, and then we're only gonna play the return leg, the final leg. And that kind of sucked when you had teams that were like, I played well, we didn't concede a goal. That was my premier objective to coming in this first leg. And that's what UEFA started doing this. They were like, you know what? We want to have both legs to be played fully. Real Madrid didn't do that. We'll see how that works. But I do like extra time. Penalty shootouts, well, again, being biased, France has been, as a national team, besides at the Euros, is typically really good in shootouts. And in shootouts, a lot of people will say, oh, it's a coin toss. And I feel like it's saying this, I will be a bit hard on those people that say that. But it is not completely true, because there is at least skill based and mental based. It's a mindset game, because back in the day, it was truly a coin toss. Before, the penalty shootout was only a thing, I think, in mid-70s. Before that, it was like, all right, let's actually do a coin toss. Or I think it was Netherlands that lost against Italy, where it was literally a raffle or like a draw. It was a draw.
Oh, drawing lots, yeah.
It was a drawing lots before penalty shootout. So
we should go back to that, actually. Anything that Italy wins automatically. I love that.
No, I do like, because speaking of drama, the penalty shootout are big drama, because you see
Brian, what more drama could you get?
Yeah, there's a ton of drama. I just think that, complaining about it, the better team not winning or going through, and, with this arbitrary away goal, it's even more magnified in that sense for penalty kicks. I just think that it's no sign of who the better team is at all. The drama is great, I guess. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, I'm happy that they've decided to mix it up, and we'll just see if I'd like to see it play out, I guess, is all I'd really say. I felt more strongly that I didn't like the away goal before I listened to Jamie today, which is annoying, but it'll be good to see. It'll be good to see a change, and hopefully we won't have a ton of penalty kicks, but just because it's kind of a cheap way to, I think, see a team go out. But at the same time, as away goal is also kind of a cheap way to see a team go out, I guess. But at least it's something that, both teams going into it knowing the importance of the away goals. It's not like it's some kind of a surprise or as fluky as a penalty kick. So
I will say football has the fundamental problem of not having enough goals to be able to differentiate teams over 2 legs. And so I assume that I mean, we haven't solved this problem yet. So I imagine it's an imperfect science. I will admit that.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. But yeah, like for me, that's what, like, a really decent from you, like this. But I explained it by bias. But That's why Jamie Carragher is against it, because Liverpool, that's funny because they used to be outsiders and now they're dominant. So obviously it's not a rule that favors the dominant teams, I would say. So yeah, you know,
We'll let it play out. We'll see what
exactly.
happens
We'll see
in this Champions
we'll see
League and going
happens.
forward.
Yeah, we'll see what happens this season. And you know, UEFA, if they need to change it next year, they have no problem changing it for next year. So that won't be a problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, there was one other game today.
Was there?
Yeah. You know, you wouldn't have known that listening to this podcast, but don't worry, we're going to cover it about as much time as it deserves to be covered, Brian.
I think that was more like a practice. Talking about practice.
Would you like to do the honors, Man City Sporting?
Yeah, Man City hosted a training match in Lisbon today, and they beat Sporting 5-0. I don't know if there's really much more to say. Slaughtered them. I only watched the highlights. Bernardo Silva looking in good form. Maybe he'll be out of the mood in 40 days. We'll see. We'll keep tabs on that.
Ooh, hopefully.
And yeah, I mean, Man City sometimes against inferior opponents, they really don't slip up. That's why they just are absolutely dominating the Premier League. They've got no let up in their game, and they just take these teams to the sword. I mean, I've never really watched Sporting too much, but I'm sure they're a pretty confident team to win. I think they won the Portuguese league last year, got out of the group, and didn't stand a chance. And that's sometimes just what Man City does. So they're pretty impressive in that way. They really don't ever take their foot off the gas, and they just pound these teams.
Oh, pound these teams. He scored in the 7th minute. This game was over.
It was like a FIFA goal too. Very chill and composed. Just pass back across the box, tap in, 1-0. Here we go.
Do you guys think the away goal will play a role in this?
They were joking about that too on CBS. Yeah. Do you think that's why Man City won 5-0 today? Because the away goal rule went away?
What's hilarious about that for Man City is that they seem to dominate both in the Premier League and in early Champions League stages until they get to like the semifinals of the Champions League. And then it's like, yeah, of course the competition is as good as it gets, but it does seem like they have a little bit of a hump to get over. I know, Brian, you talked about this.
Well, of course. Yeah. I mean, I think they've, arguably been the best team in the world for the last maybe 4 or 5 years. And, they don't have that elusive Champions League trophy to prove it. And it's, it's a bit harsh, but everyone's measured by success at the highest level like that. My man's got 7 Ballon d'Ors to prove it. So, eventually Man City's got to win a Champions League to really prove it. So for them and their legacy, I think that they've got to, it's not like their window's closing or anything. I expect them to be the best team again next year. They do such a good job of reloading and retooling. Bernardo Silva and Kevin De Bruyne have stepped in David Silva's absence as if he didn't even leave. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. They could easily lose again this year, and over 2 legs, anything can happen in these games against really good teams. But yeah, I mean, they're certainly the favorites for me.
They, honestly, so they rested a lot of their players over the weekend to get ready for this game. So Pep has done a good job, and also he has the financial backing to create some depth. But he does a great job managing his team through really difficult periods of the season where there's a ton of games. It always feels like they're ready. Like they never feel flat-footed on those things. And I think Pep's record speaks for itself. But I do also think that the Champions League is there for them for the taking, no? Like they should, theoretically, they should win the Champions League. The opportunity is right there for them every year. And in this year is no different to me. They're right there, and they proved it again today. It's just a question of if they can do it. But I agree that it doesn't seem like they're letting off the gas. And I'm sorry, Chris, but I would take Man City over PSG.
Don't be sorry. Like we saw them in a pool game, and Paris Saint-Germain was playing defense and hoping
last year was perfect. Yeah,
hoping they could do a counter attack. And I worked at Parc des Princes, but at in the Etihad Stadium, there was only one team on the pitch, and that wasn't mine. There's just one thing is that it's called the Champions League and it's been changed to that naming because they decided to expand it from the winner champions of leagues to Champions Cup. So basically it used to be the winner of your league, and you used to play knockout rounds only. There wasn't like a pool or everything. So that's why they changed it to a league, because there is a pool, but technically it's a cup. And that's why you have Liverpool that hasn't won the Premier League in like 30 years until a couple of years ago, that were still winning Champions League against Milan. I remember that game, probably one of the best games of all time. 3-0, yeah, the game is over, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, no, this team has fighting spirit. That's probably the only team that could do that. And I promised I would really believe that, because it would have been a French team, I'd be like, this is over. But like, if there was the only team that could do that, it could have been an English team, and especially Liverpool. So every year they are like the favorite, right? But usually what happens is like Pep ends up playing against a team that plays a back three or back five, and his system doesn't play very well against that. And he knows very well, and I've said that before, against a back three, it's very difficult if you play a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3, because then he gets advantage on the wider part, and that's where Pep plays his game. And so then he gets outnumbered. And usually what he does, he starts playing a back 3-2, but the whole season they haven't played that system. And that's why you see like Manchester City seems lost against random team like Lyon, or they end up losing against a team that's far inferior, but that's just playing counter attack and a different system that Pep cannot match. But if they play against, like, the only match I would say is Bayern Munich. That's the only one that could at the moment could basically match them in like same power to same power. So I wouldn't be so sure. Just like Paris Saint-Germain winning their tie against Real Madrid, I wouldn't be so sure, because that's a cup. That's not a league. If it would be a league, you play as many games, and Manchester City always comes on top because they have the best team.
I have nothing to add. I appreciate that. That was great analysis, Chris. I fully support that.
No, but like, yeah, I'm not a Man City fan, but I think we appreciate the beautiful game and the best coach in the world, and has proven to be the
consistently
best.
So. I think in one-offs it's true. He seems to lose a little bit of magic in those final moments, and perhaps it's a matchup thing. But also I think, on a consistent basis, his players deliver. I mean, all the time. That they're always there. So I look forward to seeing them make it through this round, clearly, and I'm curious to see what happens as we move forward.
Yeah, well, he used to have the magic touch, because he might have had the magic man on this squad. Yeah. So now that guy's not there, things are a little different. What we got next?
So next we've got we're going to do a little preview for tomorrow. So we'll make this real quick. Bayern, Red Bull Salzburg, as well. Yeah. Any thoughts?
Another training match for another really good team.
I tend to agree. I don't know if it'll be 5-0, Chris.
The only thing to look out for American audience is Brendan Aronson. That'll try to show up. And there is a German wonder star also that play in Salzburg. That's rumored to go to either Bayern or Dortmund, so most likely Dortmund. But that's the only two things that's interesting in Salzburg. But like, yeah, I think the goal for Salzburg will be if they can get a 0-0, that would be the best they could get. There shouldn't be a match. Bayern should win easily, a la Manchester City. So we'll see if they top the 5-0 away.
Which actually leaves more room tomorrow for the big game, which is Liverpool-Inter. I'll just say the Italians are not coming in the greatest of forms. And frankly, I think that this is kind of the game that Jurgen Klopp's teams dominate. And so I would be surprised, actually, for me, if Liverpool didn't win tomorrow.
Is this in Milan?
I believe it's in Liverpool.
Ooh. Yeah, they've got no chance. I don't think you're right about that, though. Let's check the tapes here.
Let's check the tapes. While we're doing that, Chris, what do you think?
Checking the tapes. It's in Milan.
Jeez. I'm gonna write your notes, Colburn.
Oh, that's hilarious. It's Inter 0, Liverpool 0. 0-0 Inter Liverpool.
We're gonna go with even though the away goals doesn't matter, Liverpool.
Liverpool should win this tie. I hate to say it. Milan, Inter.
Jamie was very cocky about it. He was very cocky about it on CBS, but I think he's right. They should dominate.
I mean, I don't know about the game tomorrow because it's away. It might be a scrappy win or it might be a draw, honestly. But then the return, the second leg in Anfield, there shouldn't be game. Even though in terms of form, Inter Milan has been so-so. They came in from dominating, kind of a la Real Madrid, dominating the league and be like, oh, there is no more league anymore. Let's close. Let's not watch the end of the season. It's all over. Oh, looks like in La Liga, it's not over. Oh, it looks like Milan and Inter is going to fight until the end of the season to win the Scudetto. And Simone Inzaghi, he does the same sub at the same time. It was to prepare the Champions League. They have a great team. The only thing I would say is Liverpool not taking Inter Milan seriously because they are just an Italian team, even though they are dominating their season and not the player watching as much. Serie A, I think is the only thing that could happen. But the players, it's not it's Klopp, it's Van Dijk, very serious players. One thing to look out for is Alisson will be in a good form or not. And also obviously Mane and Salah to see in which shape they will be, because that will
be a little tired. Yep.
That will condition if the game goes well. But even if that doesn't work, Luis Diaz will
their new super sub
Jota. So
yep.
In the end, overall, I think Liverpool will go through. But the game tomorrow might not be as big of a gap that I think most people would expect, in my opinion.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. We'll see how that goes. I will be cringing. That's a fact by the end of this tie. I can assure you that. That concludes sort of our Champions League segment. Just want to quickly recap some of the things that we saw from Serie A in the past weekend, the League of the Refined Palate. And one of the biggest results was Atalanta-Juve, a last-ditch Danilo equalizer in stoppage time, salvaged a point for Juventus, continues their unbeaten run against the last team to beat them in Serie A, Atalanta. I'm very bummed about this one, boys. I thought that Atalanta, having come into the game in not good form at all, they were up 1-0 well into stoppage time, and to see a home draw against rival Juventus was a little disappointing. Atalanta has been pretty shaky, and Max Allegri continues his consistent run of getting points from results and games.
Didn't see it, but the Malinowski goal for Atalanta was prime. Absolutely prime. Yeah, I don't know. Atalanta is yet to, I mean, they keep making the Champions League, which is cool, but it seems like they have these little ups and downs during the season, can't quite put the full 38 game slate together.
Yeah, and the same for Napoli as well, actually, with a nice 1-1 draw for them against Inter. Dzeko with the equalizer early in the second half, and the game sort of stalled from there. But I think a result that Napoli had to have, at least, not to lose that game. And so those are the two big ones from Serie A this weekend.
Why don't you break down the top of the table here? What are we looking like for the rest of the season?
So let's pull up the top of the table. From my perspective, I think Inter is the best team, and I think they'll ultimately win the Scudetto. It seems obvious to me over the course of time. They have a game in hand against AC Milan, so I think that's important to note. Napoli in third place with 53 points. I don't think Napoli has the steam or the quality to do that over the long term, although they've had a really good first part of the season. Juventus is the one that I don't think they have enough steam to make up. I don't think they have enough steam to make up 9 points.
They're
to
9
win.
points behind Milan.
Yes. No games in hand either. So I don't know if they have the steam. However, they've been in excellent form, and they're probably going to finish in the Champions League, which leaves Atalanta in the playoff spot at 44 points if they can hang on. Lazio and Roma behind
Wait, Atalanta
them.
is in 5th?
Yes.
That's not playoffs. That's
no,
that's Europa League there, big guy.
Sorry, Europa League.
It?
No,
Okay.
it's the Europa League. So I'm a little worried about that because Juventus doesn't seem like they're going to be going in the other direction. And so really for Atalanta, my squad
that was an important that could have been a 6-pointer for them.
Yes. And so I don't know, we'll see. Lazio and Roma I don't trust at all. Lazio I think is too inconsistent. So I think the top 5 will stay. It's just a question of what the order will be.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna like this, Coburn, but Atalanta, they've been overperforming in Champions League, reaching quarterfinal with like the budget and everything. And I love to see them play. Like they are very refreshing.
Wonderful style.
Almost kicking Paris Saint-Germain out of that Champions League that where they went to final. Shouldn't have been out of Neymar and Choupo-Moting. That would not have happened. So, but I think they might be a better Villarreal, a better Sevilla, where I think if one season they play in Europa League, they could win it. So I know it's not as prestigious, but
that's okay. You know what I will say, Chris, as Brian always say, they're a Europa League team full of Europa League players, and I think that perfectly describes where they are. The problem is they're not playing well enough to keep that spot. Lazio and Roma are right there too, so that's the part I'm particularly worried about. But I think Inter ultimately is the best team, and they will win the Scudetto.
Yeah, I think so. Even though they've been caught up, they have the best squad, and the best team. Like Lukaku, I was like losing Lukaku and Hakimi, it's gonna be tough to replace them, and you're replacing them by like almost a guy in the retirement house, Zeko, and the guy like plays like the best football.
Although three goals in his last 4 games, which I appreciate. He's been
a good player, always has been.
But I agree with you, Lukaku is far superior.
So Inter is 1 point back with a game in hand.
Yes.
Yes, they should take the Scudetto for sure. 100%.
Although your boy
place your bets.
Magnon he had a wonderful assist to Leal this weekend, which was spectacular. A goal kick a la Ederson, basically an alley-oop, which was sick. So that was enjoyable.
So I have heard other pundits that really like Jordan Pifok criticizing Hugo Lloris in his goalkeeping ability. It's very difficult to defend Hugo Lloris these days, especially that he's the king on his line, and right now he's not really. And so his ball play ability, a lot of French pundits are asking for Maignan to be the starter because of his ability to play with his feet. So that if you want to play out from the back, you need a goalkeeper. I'm not asking my goalkeeper to play outside of his box and basically outnumber the first line a la Manuel Neuer, a la Ederson, that they play basically the goalkeeper as a third center back, so that basically it outnumbers the first line of defense. I'm not asking that, but I'm asking that when you play a long ball, at least make it in the zone, not like in the outside in the line out, in the out of touch, or straight back to the other goalkeeper, which unfortunately Lloris is his last tournament for France. And honestly, the fact that he re-signed 2 seasons, I would have given him like 1 season. So yeah, Mike Maignan, like he's outstanding, and I thought like Milan might have been like a big step, but yeah, it's great. It's gonna be. I hope it's gonna be able to wait for the end of this World Cup to become the next starter for France, and not be frustrated not to play his first World Cup, where he's definitely right now the best French goalkeeper. So, but that's exciting. He's coming out of strong performances, and you're noticing the assist. Where I think he's been playing also outstanding on his line too. So yeah, I'm very ecstatic for, because I don't remember, we were talking on our chats like, yeah, after Hugo Lloris, we don't really have a good goalkeeper. I have this guy from Lille, but like, no one really watches Lille, not even me. So, and now like he plays with the big boys and he's like the boss. So that's great.
Yeah, I think Lloris's time is done. His performance on Sunday was a disaster. And yeah, Mignon looks great. So hopefully he's a starter in the World Cup. I'd cut the ties now.
Oh no,
yeah,
no,
I don't know why.
It's not how Deschamps rolls.
I guess
okay,
not.
so you guys want me to go off like you don't know? Yeah. I didn't explain that every time. Didier Deschamps, and we watched the tape where Colburn says Didier Deschamps is not as strong tactically, blah blah. No. Didier Deschamps is very strong tactically, very strong, but he only has one game. And it's adapting. He doesn't play one football, and it's not offensive football. It's more like first we start with defense, and after we'll see if we score goal. We give the ball to Benzema and Mbappe, and they'll score. And that's true.
Well, it works. In fairness, it's a good one too. And Griezmann, great.
But yeah, I mean Griezmann. Unfortunately, usually when there is a duo in football, actually that never works, a trio. I would love it to work. I would love it. It would be amazing, but it never works like that. It's only a duo. Henry Trezeguet, Zidane Lizarazu, Zidane Makelele. It's never a trio, unfortunately. And Griezmann influence.
Totti and Pirlo. I mean, the list goes on and on.
No, it never stops.
Donovan and Dempsey.
Darlington Nagby, Graham Zusi.
Okay. So to be a bit more serious, Didier Deschamps, Lloris has like 110, 15 caps, and he's the captain of Didier Deschamps, and he's a relay of Didier Deschamps on the pitch. Like he's never gonna take out his like he played Olivier Giroud when he was playing 10 minutes in 3 months for Chelsea, and he played him as a starter. And why do you not come back? When do you not call back Benzema? He's having the season of his life. I won't answer this question. Okay. Olivier Giroud says, okay, let me call back Benzema. Isn't it too late? So you're calling Benzema? You guys not gonna have automatism? No. Yeah, well, yeah, it was too late. And he's not gonna take Hugo Lloris. The only reason Hugo Lloris doesn't play is injured. He's gonna play because he's his captain and he trusts him.
It feels very apropos.
Yeah, just like Adrien Rabiot. Adrien Rabiot doesn't play for Juventus. I don't care. You play for Juventus. You're at Juventus. You play. You're starter. Oh, Tchouaméni is actually probably the best number 6 in the world, just behind a good friend of the show, N'Golo Kante. Yeah, but he's young. He has time. He's on the bench. Just on the bench.
I wish we had a triggered emoji for Chris to add to the Zoom call. Oh man, that is hilarious. There's going to be plenty of time, Chris. We're going to give you a full segment for this because as we get closer to the World Cup, this is going to be super enjoyable for Brian and I to watch.
Well, yeah, we're going to change the name of the podcast to Deschamps Super Subs for the month leading up to the tournament.
but that's the thing. Right now, I know it doesn't seem like it, but I'm holding back. So when we get closer and it will be national team only, I will just let it out.
Oh my goodness, it's like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah. So yeah, don't think it's not about the best player, it's about the team. The group is more important. And he's right because at the Euros, the group kind of not imploded, but like it didn't work out. because of the group. There were like Olivier Giroud that said like, well, I don't score because I don't get the service. And he was like thinking Mbappe doesn't give him the ball. Yeah, I mean, when you have the best player in the world and he doesn't even give the ball to that man behind, Brian, he's not going to give the ball to Olivier Giroud. So if he doesn't give the ball to the GOAT, he's not going to give it to Olivier Giroud. So, and that little thing in the press, that basically what a big reason of what there was issues in the group. And yeah, Deschamps, even if you're better than Adrien Rabiot, but Adrien Rabiot, you're his man, you play because you're his man. A little bit like Greg Berhalter, GGG. That's what it pains me. That's what GGG is doing. It's like, it's all about the group. It's all about the group. You're my man, you play. And Deschamps is a little bit like that. However, let's not compare the two. Even
I was going to say there's a slight
yes,
difference in.
Yes,
In
Didier Deschamps is
accomplishment.
world class. He's
No,
not,
Greg Berhalter is world class.
Okay,
Deschamps is hoping to become so.
Yeah. Greg Berhalter is world class a la Super Bowl world champions, where you only play in the US and you're world champion.
Oh, that's great.
Go.
Oh, that's great. Anyway, gentlemen, I think that's it. That's our show for today. That's all we've got. Any final thoughts from you before we wrap up?
Kylian Mbappe, best player in the world.
Go ahead, Chris. That's a good way to end it. No, yeah, not a lot to, besides the Champions League tomorrow, not a good slate for next weekend's games, but yeah, we got more Champions League next week and tomorrow, so it's a good time. And now football's over, so I can really be dialed in. American football, that is. So
yeah, I know. I just wish the catchers and pitchers had reported today, but that's another story.
Yeah, I'm wearing my Giants shirt in solidarity right now. You guys can't see it.
Maybe it'll be the pinch hitting podcast, a spinoff, a spinoff of the Super Subs, given all the success of the primary.
Yeah, I won't be on that one, even though I'm watching a little bit of baseball and I don't know as much. I won't be able to participate.
Oh, Chris, I won't be on that one either. That's a fact.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Chris, don't worry. Colburn hates baseball.
The baseball season is impossibly longer than the soccer season.
I know, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
So anyway, well, gentlemen, thanks for joining, and thank you all out there for joining us on the Supersub podcast. We appreciate all of the support, all of the comments, all of the likes, all of the shares. Please continue to do that. You can find us on YouTube at the Supersub podcast. You can also find us on TikTok as well as Instagram. We post clips weekly about our show. The full length one will live on YouTube, but also we have all of these other clips that we cut up. So please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. As they say, smash that subscribe button, smash that like button. We'd love to have your support. Thank you, everyone. Have a great night. Chris, Brian, take care. And we'll see you all next week.
Sounds good. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao.